beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a brand new palette from ColourPop. They are dropping the surprise on us. They are not really hyping this palette at all. They're really letting people's requests hype this palette. This is the Just My Luck palette. It's one of their monochromatic palette series, and as you can see, this one is all green. Very green 9-pan palette. This is really what people have been asking for, begging for, shouting for. A green monochromatic palette. Here it is. There is not a non-green in sight here. I know a lot of people were worried that there would be a whole bunch of browns or really bluish teal type of greens, but this is green, baby. This is just, how many times are we gonna say green in this video? A lot. As far as I know, they are going to reveal this palette the day that it launches on their website, which is the same day I'm gonna post this video. I'm trying my best to get this out there for you as quickly as possible so you can see this palette in action. To the best of my knowledge, this Just My Luck green 9-pan palette is launching on Wednesday, March 6th. It should be priced at $12 US, just like all the other 9-pan palettes. Exactly like the purple palette, It's My Pleasure, the outer packaging on the cardboard box looks just like the palette itself. This is a heavy-duty plastic. The shade names are pictured on the back. They're also printed next to the pans inside the palette. This has a locking glass closure and a nice big mirror. This does not come with a brush or any kind of applicator. When we take a look inside the palette here, there are 3 true mattes. There are 2 kind of satiny with micro glitter shades here, and then there are 4 very shimmery metallic shades. Let's go ahead and get into the swatches of this palette. I know you guys are excited to see all these shades, so I'm going to be swatching on the back of my hand with no primer down first. I'll be doing both finger and brush swatches. The finger swatches will be on top, and then the corresponding brush swatch will be below. As always, for my brush swatches, I'll be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean this brush off in between each shade using my Vera Monocolor switch. Let's get into the swatches. Alright, here we have the first round of swatches, and if you're wondering, did I paint my nails green just for this video? Yes, I did. Painted them to match one of my favorite shades. First up, we have this matte pale minty green called Chances Are. Next, I just realized how funny this shade name is. This is one of those satiny shades with a little bit of micro glitter. This is called Kiss My Hass. Hass is a type of avocado. That's funny. Okay, moving on. Next we have a dark green shimmer called 50/50, a medium blue-green shimmer called Big Banks, and lastly a greenish yellow metallic shade called Mary Jane. Here we have the last round of swatches. Just a reminder that these are the finger swatches and these are the brush swatches. And I used a dry brush for all of the metallic swatches today. They're just really this pretty. So first we have this beautiful light olive green metallic called Olive You. Next, a green true matte called Act Natural. A darker green satiny matte with some little micro glitters that you can't really see. This one's called Mo Bamba. And lastly, a deep greenish khaki brown matte shade. This one's called Charmed. Now that you've seen all the swatches, we're gonna jump into a quick tutorial using the Just My Luck palette to get this eye look that I'm wearing today. Just kind of a heads up, I have a new camera and I used it to film the tutorial. I'm sort of easing myself into using this new camera. It's a lot more complicated than this one that I've been filming on for 3 years. So it's definitely time for an upgrade, but I'm still figuring it out. So fair warning if I go in and out of focus or if my footage looks like crap, I'm so sorry. You know, this new camera has a learning curve, so just doing the best I can. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's jump into the tutorial and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. I'm starting off by priming with my favorite eye base. This is the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I just used a little bit of my Studio Water Weight pressed powder to set that base so we have a nice smooth surface to work on. I'm going in with the shade Charmed first and really lightly applying that through my crease and sort of blending down onto the outer part of the lid as well. I just used a really small amount of this shade because I didn't want it to get too dark too quickly. Same thing with this shade Mo Bamba. I applied it with a really small fluffy detail brush and I'm just gently sweeping that across the outer part of my lid to start to build up a bit of a foundation for this green look. These dark shades are really pigmented, so it only takes a tiny bit on the brush. Then I'm going to apply the shade Olive You with my fingertip just on the inner 2/3 of my eye. I'm going to leave that outer spot blank for some deeper shimmers. Then I took 50/50 again just with my fingertip and patted that really gently on the outer part of my eye to add a little bit of depth. Then I took the shade Charmed once again, this time on a small flat brush, and I used that to smoke out my lower lash line. I took my time with this shade just with a little bit of product and then really blending out with the brush so that it looks blended. Next, I wanted to add a little pop of this shade because I really like this Big Banks color. So I took a bit of that on my finger and put it in the center of my lid. Next, I took a combination of Mo Bamba and Charmed, the deepest shades in the palette, and using a small angled brush, I did a sort of a faux liner look on the upper lashes. I just wanted to add a little bit of depth right around my lash line. Nothing too crazy, though this look would be beautiful with a winged liner if you're into that. For my inner corner highlight, I wanted something really bright and I wanted to change it up from the green, so I used my sleek Love Shook palette, curled my lashes, and added a little bit of my CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. And that's my finished look. I know I did pull in a highlight shade, but otherwise, this is as green as your girl can get. I have some very complicated feelings about this palette. Which is kind of a silly thing to say about a 9-pan eyeshadow palette, but here we are. Basically, I'm really excited for this palette because I know a lot of other people are really gonna like it. People have been saying on social media since before the It's My Pleasure palette came out that they wanted a green monochromatic palette, and I know so many people are gonna be thrilled. For me, personally, this palette doesn't really give me one look that fits my style. So basically what I'm saying is I'm excited for you if this is your color scheme. I'm just not a big green eyeshadow girl, and if I'm gonna wear green eyeshadow, which a couple of these shades I really like. I love Olive You, I love 50/50, I love Big Banks. If I'm gonna wear a shade like that, like a green metallic, then I want some neutrals, browns, something contrasting even to go with those greens, but just green on green on green is not appealing to me. But I know for a fact that if ColourPop would have come out here and put, you know, 3 neutrals or 2 browns and an orange or something in this palette, people would have hated it, they would have torn it to shreds, they would have said this isn't a green palette. So I can kind of see it both ways. Like, I see why they would make a palette like that. I see why the Sol and Mar palettes look like that, because that's more usable for me. That's how I want to use it. I want my colors with neutrals. But, you know, color is very hot right now. Neutrals are not really in at the moment. So I see why they made this. I know a lot of people are going to be really thrilled for it. I'm definitely glad that they put this Charmed shade in there. It really grounded the palette for me. I would have liked to see a little bit more muted tones coming through here, but that's just my aesthetic, my personal style. So I'm sure that the green lovers are going to be so excited for this, and I think quality-wise, It is really up to par with the other palettes. It's my pleasure. The purple palette has been one of my favorites since it came out, and I think quality-wise, this stacks up to that. That one's just more my style, but I do think this rounds out the ColourPop family really perfectly. I really hope that we continue to see more of these monochromatic palettes. I would love to see a red, a yellow, and I'm sure that we could convince them to do a solid blue one too, although personally I love the Mar palette. You already know I'm a neutrals mixed in with my colors type of girl, so I do like these 9-pan palettes a lot. They have great mirrors. There's a good balance of mattes and shimmers in here. There's every kind of green you could ever want. I know so many people are going to be excited about this, so that makes me excited about it. I would love to hear your thoughts on this palette. Are you a all in, all monochromatic, all green type of person? Are you like me and you want a couple neutrals in the mix? As I continue to use this Just My Luck palette, I think I'm gonna mix it with my I Think I Love You palette. This is a great cost-effective way to add some more shades into your collection, just in time for St. Patrick's Day too. I see you, ColourPop. I see you. Clever. I would love to hear your thoughts on this palette. Leave your comments down below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Precious. Can you see how busted up my poor swatch brush is? We've been through a lot. Over 450 videos together. You're a real one, elf brush. Oh, that's so close. Back that thing up. My fingers are so stained, I'm like a leprechaun. So fessed up. You're weird. Okay, carry on. Carry on. That doesn't even make sense. Pull it together. I just don't think green looks that good on me. I don't hate it, it's just not my favorite. I don't know. I'm excited for you if you like it though. My foot's falling asleep, help. Oh mama. I hope that footage turns out well for my new camera. It's so complicated. This camera that I'm used to is like cameras for dummies, which is what I need. It's sad because it's true. I don't know, I think this green look is growing on me. I don't think I would have liked it if I put green on the inner corners, but I'm feeling some leprechaun realness right now. Who even says shit like that? Wow. Ow, ow, my foot, ow, ow, ow. Oof. I ordered almost the entire MAC Boom Boom Bloom collection, and then they sent me a bunch of it in PR. I spent like $250 on this collection, and then they sent me a bunch of it. So that video will be coming soon. My hand is so stained green, can you tell? Alien girl of YouTube, blah. Wow. Just wow. That's all I have to say about that. Just my luck. Some of these names though, it's okay. ColourPop's not done yet. You just wait. You just wait and see. There's more to come. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye now.